that he be the king instead of Solomon. But somehow David had found out about that. And he made sure that Solomon was anointed to be king. And now that they at a time of prosperity and Solomon is in charge now, and remember, this is the time when the temple was completed. They did have a tabernacle right there in Jerusalem. The tabernacle, they had the tabernacle that they had to raise, to construct, set up, and take down, all the way through the wilderness. They had to make sure that that tabernacle was set up, and every time that pillar of cloud by day or pillar of fire by night moved, wherever it stopped, they would have to erect the tabernacle again. And then that cloud moved somewhere else, they'd have to set the tabernacle back up. They had been doing this ever since they left. Though they knew that even the temple, as big and beautiful and expensive as it was, it could not contain God's presence. The temple. And we look at how Solomon was dedicating God's house, Mother Johnson. I mean, we don't look for application from the Old Testament, Pastor Milton, to our own lives. But when we look at the temple and how Solomon dedicated the temple, and we have to realize that right now, in the book of John and 2:19, and when you look at that, that was even Jesus. What did Jesus say? He said, destroy this temple. And in 3 days I will rise again. When he spoke of the temple, he was talking about what? His body.
His body, yeah.
We don't have Solomon's temple, but right now, our temple. That's where God dwells, in our temple. And it says in Romans 12th chapter, I beseech ye therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. That's what they did at the temple, sacrificed. He says, well, I want you to sacrifice. I want you to be holy. That's right. And that's what he said. Because this temple, that's God's house, where God dwells, where God lives, it should be holy. That's right. Holy, acceptable. He said, unto God. He said, that's your reasonable service, didn't he? That's right. Reasonable service. And in this temple, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and perfect and acceptable will of God, by the way that you live in this temple that God has given you. People don't realize that this body is a temple of God. And it should be dedicated back to God, Sister Mary. That's why, Brother Milton, when new babies come into the world, they come to you, Pastor Milton, and be like, oh, well, can you baptize my baby? He was born about 6 weeks ago. Can you baptize him? No, we can't baptize him. We're not Catholic. We don't baptize babies at 8 days old. But I tell you what I can do for you. Since this baby, since he's the temple of God, we can dedicate him back to God. Amen. That's what you do for little babies like that. You don't baptize, you dedicate them back to God. And you realize that your body is the temple of God. We have to dedicate our bodies to God. He don't live in a house anymore. He lives in your heart. Y'all get that? He lives in your heart. Nobody carry him around with the Ark of the Covenant. You carry him to the grocery store. You carry him to your job. You carry him to church. Why? By carrying your body there, and he lives in your heart. So you should not want to act any kind of way.
That's right.
If your body is the temple of God. Amen. Let's read our text right quick.